just going to talk quickly about how the control panel works, give an overview of some of the body movements, and talk about the power for the servos. So basically, when I wanted to figure out how to move Cipher 5 and test all the servos, right? So first of all, we have servos, 9 servos, right? So we have obviously one in the head. There's actually 2 in the head, but there's a pan and a tilt. Problem is with the tilt, I can't get the tilt because of the neck. I need to remove some more material there so the head could look down at you. That's a future enhancement. I'm not too worried about it right now. But in every joint here, so this shoulder joint has a servo that spins this, I call it a shoulder bowl, spins it forward and back. I have a servo in the back here that actually takes the upper arm up and down, and this is actually on a hinge so that when it comes up, when this arm lifts up, this can move. Because I broke it off the first time and said, gotta look at that. And then I needed my upper arm, I call this upper bicep, I needed this to move. So I actually, this was a separate piece to this. It was just connected by a furniture bolt. And so I took it and gutted it, and there's actually a servo that lives in here, and it connects down here to the upper arm. And then I have the servo here, as you can see in the elbow. Put the servo in here, which there's a metal plate in here, there's a metal plate in here that they connect to, and that's how the servo turns. Haven't done the wrist yet, it's pretty dainty. I'll figure it out someday. And then the hands. The hands I'm going to do, that's a future enhancement. I'm possibly going to hide all the motors in here and run wires up into here. Or I may try to do it all in the hands with little servos. I don't know. Luckily, he only has 3 fingers, when a K2SO has 4, I think, plus a thumb. I think it might actually be a full hand. So yeah, so that's it. And then of course we do the same thing on the other side with all the servos in here. So initially, I would plug into each servo and test it and do what I call zeroing. Zeroing is basically, I need to know where the true home of the servo is. So where its minimum is. And then I need to know where its maximum is. And then I need to know what are the joints minimum and maximum. Do I want to extend past here with my elbow? Probably not. That's not natural and probably not good for the part. The cool thing about the design down here, Droid Division did, there's a piece down here at the bottom that actually sort of hugs and guides the elbow here. So if I go back too far, I'll break it off. It's sort of a bit of a fail-safe as well for the printed piece. So yeah, I need to know how far, what is straight, what is bent, how far can I go? So I have to do that for every single joint. This joint, this joint, this joint, this joint, because I don't want things going wild and crazy. And so I tested them initially with a little individual device where I could just wire into each servo independently. And then once I had that figured out, I could write my Arduino, my Arduino code. So my Arduino code, it knows what the minimums and maximums are, and it won't go past those, hopefully. And then the Raspberry Pi sends the command that says, move this to 1. Well, 1 is down here straight. Move it to 5. 5 is maximum to here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 are angles in between. I just did that for now because I want basic movement. I don't need to have, exact precision yet, but good enough for now. So then, yeah, all the servos run into the torso here. These guys run into the torso here. The head ones run down through the neck into the torso. And then in here, it's a spaghetti mess, sadly, of wiring, which all connects to different power rails. So the power is done. And then there's the Pi, which is living outside the body, so I can access it right now and plug into it and do things. But in there is an Arduino. That's for the upper body. Down there, you can't see it, is another Arduino. That's for the lights. And so there's going to be a third Arduino for the lower body eventually. So yeah, so I'll just set them up here and we'll show you my control panel. So this is the control panel. I built this. It's just a little web page actually that runs on a web server, and this connects over my shared hotspot on my phone through an IP address, and then I can control the movement of the body. I control, I labeled everything so I knew it and color coded it as well for ease. But basically, I can do this is left elbow, this is left upper arm, this is the left bicep, and then over here I did shoulder blades, right? This is the right side, and this is for the head. And I have a question mark in here because minimum is 1, maximum is 5, and rest is 2 or 3 usually, because it's somewhere in the middle. And then this lets me get to any one of the 5 positions that I choose. This down here is a command box. I can actually send commands to it. I could type my own custom servo commands that I need to send for these 9 servos, but I usually just use it. I could get the droid to speak. So if it takes a speech command. And then I have some pre-programmed buttons here in green. Basically they do like a movement. Right now I'm moving only sort of 1 servo at a time to ensure that it works, just so we don't have like 9 servos moving and we have what's called a brownout. Right? Power gets too low on the battery. I should talk about that as well. We're using an RC battery here to provide power for all the servos. And we have our connection here. We have a 5-volt, 5-amp fuse that lets, in case there's some sort of power surge, it dies and won't fry my servos. Every servo is worth $50, so kind of crazy. And then that's my 12-volt, as I said, for the power. So yeah, so we have this, and then if I do this for the head, it should go all the way to the right. I can do this, it goes all the way to the left. Yeah, and then same for like left elbow. Actually, I'm gonna left elbow all the way up, and then I'm gonna move that upper arm out. Right, and then I can move the bicep up, which terrifies me a bit because there's not a lot of room over there, right? I got my shelf right there. So you see what I mean? If I do something crazy and move the arm out, it's gonna like smack into stuff. I don't want it to break, right? I can do the same thing for the right arm. I can put the right arm up. Don't knock off my battery. Why is my right? There we go. Huh. That took a while. And this joint here is loose. I have it identified and I'll fix it. But basically, see how we got quite a gap there? I can get almost my whole fingertip in there. That's not good, because that basically tells me that the screw that connects the mount to the plate is loose, obviously just from movement. And so one day this arm's going to fall off. And so I don't want that. That would be terrible. So I'll move the right arm out. So it's this one. Yeah, terrifying. So yeah, so basically I can move that, and then I have scripted movement. So this should put them all back to rest. And so I've got the arms out quite a bit because it was smacking into the wood stand that holds them up. Basically, even though I have his statue knees, as I call them, and statue hips in, right, I don't have the servo hips or knees in, because I want him to be stable because I'm working on the upper body. And I have my other stand that sits behind me usually. That's where I put the prototype legs all together with the knees and the hips, and we're practicing the walking gait. So yeah, this is, this is the rest position, which we'll do for now. And then this one I have, it's called on guard. Did a little bit of a reset there. So there you go. So it's been a really fun project. Really happy with how it's gone together. It's been such a learning experience, and yeah, it's been 3 years in the making, and I'm just thrilled with how it's going. It's really fun to have it. Friends come over and check it out. They're like, "Dude, you're crazy. You're building a droid." I'm like, "That is the plan." So it's basic movement, right? I can move all the limbs in some shape or form. I can control it, right? Controlling it remotely, right? I'm doing this over basic local internet, right? Where I'm on my shared hotspot, and I have a control panel here that I can send commands to. Eventually, I could just tell the Python code for when it starts up that it can, do this, do that, right? Or based on what you say, do this, do that for commands, or based on what input it has, like from the microphone or from the camera I plan to mount on it eventually, for body cam as I call it, and then it will take input through video and pictures as well, identify what's going on, put some semblance to it to say what is happening or who is in the room, have I seen these people before, are they wanted fugitives, you know, I mean, I could do all sorts of stuff with it, but it gives me that capacity. So then I can do a little sentence here, have him speak.
Thank you for watching.
There you go. So, again, I got like an air conditioner running in here as well, so his voice isn't quite as loud as I like it. I have it sort of bass boosted a little bit because, again, I've talked about it before. Maybe the head, there is a sort of talking in a box. So, but yeah, super fun project. Really glad you came by and watched. Thanks for following the journey, and we're going to get into more servo discussion and prototyping of the joints, because that was a really big part and interesting part of the design process and the journey of Cipher 5. Okay, thanks for joining. Take care. Well, monumental day. All the servos are in. I can't believe this day has come. It has been a long time. Like, June of last year, June of 2023 is when this is. And today is December 29th, 2024. So basically a year and a half. And it's been a lot of modeling and designing. Do this right. So yeah, so servos in the shoulder, in the upper bicep, in the elbow, on both sides. Just completed this one today. So the bicep goes forward and back, the shoulder goes up forward and back, the upper bicep goes out like up and down, and this turns inwards and outwards to let the arms come in towards the body. The elbow, obviously the elbow. The Arduino, which runs it all. So all these are the servos just for the upper body. Power sources coming in, all lined up here on the pins. Got a few more pins, plus this also controls the head eventually. Then in here in the hips, we have a servo in the hips and a servo in the knee on both sides. And then last night I successfully wrote the code, which you can pass values like R1 through R5, like for the right elbow or etc. So just super crazy that unless I have a failure in a piece, I'm not actually having to mod anything. All the servos are in. Now it's a matter of programming and stabilizing the droid.
I am seeking a wanted fugitive.